All right, good afternoon. So, today, picking up where we left off yesterday, and that is that we are very, very close. You can see it right here at the bottom of the screen. Very, very close to 92%, in fact, to getting Autoloot. So, that's really awesome. I would love to finish that today. We also need 11 more total events in specific areas in Dragonfall to move forward on Skyscale. So both those things are definitely at the forefront for me today. However, I also discovered last night, uh, I think after doing dailies on this account, I did knock out dailies, which gave us another couple golds. So I like where we're at in terms of gold. But after knocking that out, getting that 2 gold, I'm like, hey, like, how much closer are we, or where are we at in terms of um, having enough gold to where we'll still meet our goals after Skyscale. So I wanted to check out what the needs were for Skyscale. Like, what do you actually require? So once we hit 200 gold, maybe 205, because we're also going to buy some agony resistance, then we'll be in a pretty good place on gold. But what I discovered, and thus the problem we have, we also need trade contracts. I had completely, just as I did with Jackal, I also, with Skyscale, completely failed to incorporate trade contracts into my planning. According to the wiki, we need 500 trade contracts to pursue Skyscale. Now, on an account that maybe has been hanging out for a while, has been played regularly, and is somebody's primary account, that probably wouldn't really be all that bad. Like, that would be pretty manageable. I don't think it is an unfair, um, gate for acquiring Skyscale. However, on this account, where we've really been pretty single-minded in what we've been doing, and relative to like other accounts that I have and stuff, the hours are pretty low. We are a long, long ways away from that. So let's take a look at what we got, because I think it's like 20 or 30. 28. We have 28 trade contracts. So all we need are 472 more. So that's going to be a problem. We may actually advance to the point in our Skyscale hunt where we do not have enough trade contracts to advance. If we do not start farming those, we 100% will run at that point, because the handful of events that we have left to complete in Dragonfall are going to be really inadequate in terms of getting enough trade contracts. We were getting a few yesterday when I was getting those events, but it was a very small number. I do think you get them from Season 4 maps. We were definitely getting them yesterday on Dragonfall, but the number is significantly lower than the core Path of Fire maps, the ones that, were part of the actual expansions. So we're going to need to find some content now on those Path of Fire maps. Last time that we found ourselves in this spot for the Jackal, the number that we needed was much lower. But we sought out specific events in Crystal Oasis for trade contracts because they were fast events. They were very easy to clear solo. Nothing horrible like long escort events and stuff like that. We don't have that luxury this time because the number we need is just way too high. So I think today we're going to be spending a lot of time in the LFG, because I think in addition to trying to get some dungeons and fractals, especially dungeons, we're only one dungeon away from getting dungeon frequenters, so there's another 5 gold that will just land right in our pocket. In addition to looking for dungeons and fractals, we're also going to be, as much as I don't enjoy it, trying to find a bounty train. I really don't enjoy trains of any kind. I don't enjoy like world boss trains, bounty trains, freight trains, commercial trains, military trains. They're really nothing involving trains is particularly interesting to me. But that's simply going to be the best way to get what we need. So let's see what we got going on here. Man, we know we need to, so I really firmly believe This is a good example of one of the events that, because of scaling, is probably easier with like the 5 or 6 people, whatever it is we got here, than it would be with 60 people. Like I think this would be actually harder with 60. The health pool would be so much greater, and the potential damage resulting from, or not damage, but the challenge of his barrier would be, I think, a lot more pronounced. And see, this is why like Skyscale is mandatory. This is super important right here. And I'm not mad at them. It just, the default setting for players who play regularly at this point is to go from one place to the next, hop on Skyscale, and immediately head there. The handful of folks who don't have Skyscale but do have Griffin, and that's pretty rare, are going to do that. So someone who's relatively early in the game, and maybe all they have is Bunny, like now they're desperately trying to keep up. They want to do the content, presumably, or they wouldn't have joined Squad or whatever. And this could easily be 20 hours in their Guild Wars 2 experience. And now they're like, oh my gosh. And there are some folks who will then be motivated. They will say, oh, now I know that I really need to get Skyscale. Like, this is now a super important goal for me. My concern is that there are also a lot of folks who are then going to turn to YouTube or talk to people and say, well, what does Skyscale take? And they're going to see what it takes, which isn't an unbelievable amount. It's not over. I don't think it's over the top at all, but it's enough that they might say, you know what, that's just not worth it. I would much prefer, to go play a game where I can simply buy the mount on, for money in the cash shop and keep up with everyone else. I like that we don't buy our mounts in the cash shop. I like that we earn them. However, when squads get away from, and this one's, they advertise chill squad. He very clearly is. Like, credit to this guy, good commander. He came over here. Now we're going to hang out for a minute. People should expect this cadence because he advertised it as a chill run in the first place. So everything is like right that's happening right now. However, that isn't always the case, and the danger is there for it to be a real negative experience. Man, I almost wonder if it'd be faster to farm the events like I did for Jekyll. Now, it doesn't hurt us to go through and get a few of these that, like we never had. Now we got them on the account. It's cool stuff. All good there. Oh, hey. Hey there. Oh, I didn't even think about coalescence. Apparently most of these folks are doing it. And then we got one person, I'm pretty new. Yeah, so 54 master points. So here's a great example. Somebody's tagging along with this train, and they're new. They got 54 mastery points. So keeping up with the folks on the Skyscales is, is going to be a challenge for them. They got 117. They're in a little better shape. There's someone at 30 right in front of me. There we go. That's how we wanted this to go. Nice. Alright, we'll land a few hits and then we will also auto attack while we wait for the couple other people to get here. There are definitely people who are not auto attack. That's alright, let's see. One of them's really, really close. And I think the other one's really, really close. Alright, everyone made it. That's cool. Well, I really appreciate this commander. That is like doing business in a way that benefits everyone in his squad. That's cool. Alright, I kept saying hero point. There's not a hero point here. It's a master point. Not sure what I was thinking of. There we go. Nice. Alright, so that should give us that entire achievement. There it is, Triumph of Conquest. Done. And, more importantly, we got some trade contracts out of that. And we are now in a real good spot to move on and do other things for today. This is a fairly dark fractal, and I am having a little bit of trouble with the current light in my room here. The lighting is preventing me from seeing very well, which is kind of problematic. But we got through this smooth enough. I can't, by no stretch of imagination, can I complain. Particularly considering I'm not the best at Fractals.
Light of Deldrimore. I feel good.
No, man. Is Tumanova really one of today's dailies? I thought I checked earlier today, and it was not. Oh my gosh. Alright. That's fine. This seems like overall a decent group. I don't want to be carried. I hate being carried, but if I pay attention to what they're doing, then hopefully I can, compensate for my own issues, and I won't be a burden. And I almost feel inclined to let them know that I am not good at Tumanova. I probably should do that here in a second. I feel like it's the least I can do is let them know. I can't remember, what was the other one? Was it the death of Zaitan? And we chose, as a community, we chose this, I think. I don't remember what the other one was now. No, it was Abaddon. It wasn't Zaitan, it was Abaddon. We were going to go back, and they were going to kind of pull that back from Guild Wars 1 and introduce it as a Fractal, I believe. Which would have been cool. I don't know that, I mean, this one ended up really cool, so probably not worth complaining about. But I do wonder what that other. And so what's interesting about it, I guess, is it was one of the two options that were on the table, but then it was never introduced later. You would have thought that if it had been on the table, that it still would have been on the table later. Then they could have I mean, if they had a plan to create that fractal, did they throw away the entire plan? And if so, how weird is that? And if they didn't have a plan, then that says something about the way they do business. That it was like, hey, we'll do this thing, and then when it wasn't the thing that was voted for, then they killed the entire. That might say a lot about them too. But all right, that wasn't so bad. Nice. So far, I haven't actually died. And for me, that is sometimes like a real achievement. So we'll take it. Ooh, buddy. All right, let's get this done. There we go.
God, take you. All of you.
Happy, happy.
High Priestess!
They'll have to hit much harder.
Well, honestly, that's kind of surprising under the surface. I'm really happy though. These were cool folks, and that's something to be grateful for. All right, well, easy peasy. Not that Kotikus story mode would ever be like anything other than easy peasy, but that should be 5 gold and some extra tokens as well.
I see you've found us as well.
Greetings.
It seems we were both on the trail of the same kidnappers. Codicus! I knew you were...
All right, there we go. So why did why was that important to me even after we got Autoloot? Right there, that's 5 gold. That's why it was important to me today. Oh, is a bridge event happening? Oh, man. Where are all the people who need bridges? Like, they're not here. They're not going to get the bridge event. This is, honestly, it's a catastrophe. Now, we need this event to succeed, though. I can't let this bridge, like, go down. That won't help anything. There we go. And done with this side of the map. Doing this event. And doing an event with at least one other person would be, or not. Or, yeah, there we go. See, there's a person doing a thing. Alright, cool. That's how it's supposed to work. Alright, now we just need to kill a few more of these dudes. And while we're doing this, let's see, what does that take us to? 8 out of 10 in the Balthazar region. Well, we're almost there in terms of time. I assume the char pilot needs to be alive when the rescue gets here. Alright, there's the rescue. Nice. Alright.
Thank you.
Happy, happy, happy.
Died here without you.
Alright, so we will wrap it up here. Today, I was on for quite a while today, but we did definitely achieve some stuff, and we can be pretty happy about that. So we're actually up to 104 mastery now. Some of that we don't need, so we got Bond to Life today. We don't need that. I don't care, like that's irrelevant. We also got the first Fractal mastery, which again, I do care, but wasn't part of the playthrough. What we got that really mattered for the playthrough is we completed Autoloot. So now, so that would have put us, if we hadn't got those other 2 things, that would have put us right around 100, which is where I expected us to end up. When we did all of the, once we got all the masteries we wanted, we now have them. So the only thing that will increase this when we finally get Skyscale. It'll go by like 1 or 2 or whatever with the acquisition of Skyscale. But this is about the goal that we wanted to achieve. So the only thing that we have not yet achieved for the 0 to 0 playthrough is Skyscale. That's it. Otherwise, we have everything. I added some agony resistance, so we're now up to 54 because I added some. That was necessary when we were playing Fractals, because we were playing Tier 2, and I was starting to struggle due to the lack of agony resistance. And I still need to add 18 more, and will in the near future. So we got that taken care of. We got all our other mounts. We got the Ascended that we want. We got almost 200 gold here, which means that we should be over 150. We need a little bit more, but then we'll be over 150 when we get Skyscale, so that's a win for us. All around, great. We're just about there. The one problem that we have is that we need a lot of trade contracts. We still need 363 more to get Skyscale, so we're going to continue to proceed along with Skyscale, but we're going to have to start farming that as well, and at some point we may have to stop the Skyscale process and finish farming those so that we can move forward. But right now we are moving forward. We got the return to achievements for this, so we got all the map currencies we need now. All we need is 2 more events in the Granth region, and then we'll continue to charge forward on Skyscale. We're getting really, really close. We're a handful of hours of gameplay, maybe 6 to 10 hours of gameplay, maybe a little bit more, but not a lot, away from having all of our goals met and being done with the 0-0 playthrough. And we're at 88 hours, 28 minutes, so we're going to achieve all of our goals in under 100 hours. I'm very confident of that. I don't think we have more than 12 hours left to achieve what we want. And unless I spend a lot of that doing dailies in between some of these playthroughs. And finally, we got this today, so that's 1 more gold for us, a couple of laurels, and it just doesn't matter which of these we take. Let's see, what am I on? I'm on a necro. That's a staff, right? All right, we'll take the staff. Who cares? But it was not a goal for us when we started the 0-0 to playthrough, but we are moving along on achievement points as well. And again, part of that is the dailies. That counts for 230 of it, but there are a number of achievements and other stuff we've got as well. So all things said, we're doing really well. I'm really happy with it. I had a good time today because I played with some cool folks in Fractals, and overall it was a good experience. And hopefully we'll have a similar experience tomorrow. So I will talk to you then.